God. Man, these memes are all really dumb. I might have to flip a coin on this one. Wait, let's go back to... Huh. I'm sure the Liberty Block would be happy to accept your submission for Dumb Memes of the Week. Also, I believe refusal to engage in good faith and the impugning of your opposition with false motive were covered in the most recent episode of Liberty Block Live. Another episode is coming tonight, but here's last week's episode. Yeah, well, I'd say it's time for another episode of Dumb Memes from the Left. Today's especially dumb meme from the left comes from a guy called Joey Thomas, and I use air quotes because you can't click on his profile anymore. So to Joey Thomas, thank you for your submission, and congratulations are in order. So we did that. Congratulations, your submission has won the honor of being this week's dumb meme from the left. For the future, though, we would prefer you make submissions directly to our main page. So in order to climb up this mountain of stupid, we're going to have to break this meme into several parts. And let's start with Trump's face. All right, so presumably this picture originally had the face of a little boy with a shovel in his hand, and at least now the caption reads, "Grab a shovel because bodies are piling up," as though to imply that the little kid is the one doing the grave digging, not the actual causing of the bodies being piled up. So when you superimpose Trump's face over the little boy's face, you're suggesting that Trump isn't actually the problem here. He isn't the reason that these bodies are piling up. He's the one doing the grave digging? So he's the one disposing of somebody else's mess? Right, so even if I agreed with your take on all this, that Trump is at fault here, you still screwed up the meme. Also with that caption, bodies are piling up. In a sense, you're right. The United States has suffered at least 66,000 more deaths than expected this year, a total that includes the devastation directly caused by the coronavirus pandemic, and a sharp rise in fatalities not attributed to the virus, the government reported late Wednesday. The new report from the National Center for Health Statistics shows 33,756 COVID-19 deaths and 32,325 from all other causes since January 1st. Other causes include heart attacks, accidents, overdoses, cancer, and a wide variety of other fatal diseases. It also could include people who died of COVID-19, the disease caused by the novel coronavirus, at home, but whose deaths were incorrectly attributed to another cause. The official statistics support the findings of independent efforts to determine the pandemic's hidden toll, including reporting by the Post and other newspapers showing that excess U.S. deaths soared in the early weeks of the pandemic. They also buttress fears that people with heart conditions, strokes, and other life-threatening conditions might be dying at home in greater than usual numbers. Doctors have worried that people are not going to hospitals because they are afraid of contracting the virus. On Monday, the Post reported that from March 1st to April 4th, the United States saw 15,400 excess deaths, nearly double the total attributed to COVID-19 for that period. And as for the total number of coronavirus deaths, well, let's hear from Dr. Birx.
The intent is right now that if someone dies with COVID-19, we are counting that as a COVID-19 death.
So is the number of coronavirus deaths being reported too high or too low? And do we know by how much? So on our side says things like, guy showed up at the morgue with 17 stab wounds to his back, but tested positive post-mortem for coronavirus, so cause of death equals coronavirus, not 17 stab wounds to the back. Yeah, I mean, there's something to that. And by the way, that's what we're saying. Don't conflate that with that one guy on Twitter who said one time that all deaths in hospitals are being attributed to COVID-19 because there's some sort of monetary incentive to do so. Remember what we said about bad faith? Also, this is a really big country. So are bodies piling up across the U.S., or are they piling up in New York City? Social distancing is too hard, and we need Applebee's and haircuts. Oh, God. Do we really have to have this good faith conversation again? I just made this complaint about you guys not acting in good faith. And here we go again. You see, folks, there's this thing called money. We use it as a medium of exchange so we can get things like food. And I know it's inconvenient, but as animals, we need to eat food. And in order to get the food that we can eat so that we can live, we need to exchange this money for that food, because that's how money works. And in order to get that money, you have to do this thing called work, which is a word I know you guys on the left haven't heard of, but what work is this wonderful thing where you exchange your labor in a mutually consensual transaction for that money, and what the other person gets is the product of your labor, and what you get is that money. So then you can spend that money on things like food, water, shelter, clothing, etc. God, am I going to have to open up my economics textbook to page 1 for the second week in a row? Chapter 1, page 1. Scarcity. Neither the poor nor the wealthy have unlimited time, income, or wealth. No. Nope. We're not even at that point, folks. What we're talking about here is a lesson you tell your 6-year-old at the amusement park after they've blown all their ride tickets on the spinny swings. And yes, I did just equate the mind of a leftist to that of a 6-year-old at the amusement park who doesn't understand how money works because, well, ask a stupid question, you get a stupid answer. Act in bad faith. Do we have to show the Aladdin clip again?
You wanted to be a genie? You got it! And everything that goes with it.
Any excuse to stick it to Disney, right? The reason people want the salons and restaurants to open is because people work at these places and they want to go back to work and be actually productive members of society, which I know confuses the left. Why would anyone want to be a productive member of society? And just as a brief aside, Clapton's 68 might work really well for a rock band, but when you're going for a job interview, you kind of want to look professional so you can get that job, so you can make money, so you can eat. God damn, do I really have to keep doing this? Protest. It's your right to infect your neighbors. God, don't you just love having words put in your mouth? And since we keep talking about good versus bad faith would be actually going up to these protesters and asking them why they're protesting, something the mainstream media won't do, so cue the montage of why these protesters are protesting.
Leah, can you tell us what brought you out here today?
I came out here to support local businesses and to kind of bring to the attention of the governor that this shutdown is going to have public health impacts due to its impact on the economy. You know, public health is largely influenced by poverty.
So could you tell me real briefly what brought you out here today? Why are you at this protest to reopen New Hampshire?
So my husband and I are small business owners, and we are trying to protect our future and the future of our business.
So Kimberly, what brings you guys here today as things are kind of wrapping up?
So this is the second of 2 rallies that we did, and they both kind of have a similar message. We are here protecting our constitutional rights, our right to life and liberty, our right to peaceably assemble, and our right to equal protection under the law. And as soon as the executive orders came down that created a group of people who are suddenly non-essential, they stopped being able to pursue life and liberty. They didn't get that equal protection under the law, and everybody lost their right to peaceably assemble.
The thing that brought me out here today was I disagree completely with the measures being taken by the governor based on the fact that there hasn't been information on the damage to the economy versus the human cost, okay? If you can make the argument that this is the human cost trumps the economy damage, then okay, let's go for it.
You know, wear a mask if you are worried that you were in contact with somebody. I mean, if you want.
If you want to stay home, stay home. That is absolutely your right. In fact, for this whole thing, I got a lot of criticism and questions about, are you going to social distance? Are you going to make people wear masks? Are you know, those questions. And I said, that's like literally the whole point is you are responsible for your own well-being. You're not responsible for mine.
I work in healthcare.
Great, what do you do?
I'm a nurse.
I'm a paramedic.
And so my 2 cents is if you want to stay home, stay home. If you want to lock yourself in your house and not go outside, do it.
It's your right to infect your neighbors.
If you want to stay home, stay home.
It's your right to infect your neighbors.
If you want to stay home, stay home.
Yeah, so one of these things is not like the other. Trump Pandemic Council. Oh, okay. So this is a flyer the Trump Pandemic team would put out? That leads with grab a shovel, bodies are piling up? Man, you guys can't even do propaganda right when it's satire. Either that or you can't do satire right when it's propaganda. Either way, thanks for proving the point that the left don't understand comedy and don't have a sense of humor. So congratulations to the left on getting an incredible 6 out of 5 wrong on this one. All right, you guys have heard from me. Now let's hear what you guys had to say about this. T. Brian Woodward, who still uses shovels to dig graves? Everyone who lives in a country that hasn't been exposed to a free market, and everyone who lives in a country where these things have been banned by a Green New Deal. Good luck telling people to swing a pickaxe in the dead of winter and taking 10 times as long to do something you could easily do with an excavator in just a few hours. Hey look, Herman Melville showed up at the scene to chime in, and well, Herman, what you have to say might be really cool and all, but this is a meme review show, and I'm not reading Moby Dick on it. All right, that's a wrap from this week's show. It'll be a while before I'm back again, but I will be back on a Wednesday night as always. And in the meantime, we'll have the next dumb meme from the left posted to the Liberty Block's Facebook page on Monday night. Link is in this video's description. That'll give you guys some extra time to get some really walloping comments in. And as always, we'll be taking suggestions for the next dumb meme on the Liberty Block's Facebook page or in the comments section of this video or on Mike Sinello's Facebook page as well. Link is in the video's description. And in fact, we're getting a suggestion in right now. It says, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill him.